Hello, Sharon. This thing's actually very small. By looking at it, this is actually the height of the unit right here. That's a good 6 inches from the top. This is all the fuel tank right here. Hey, Alan. That's the air intake and the air filter assembly. This is the power panel. All of these pieces all can come off. I'm sure everyone like me wants to know. Oh, wait. I need to set this for live chat, all comments. First off, let's see how much oil is in it. Oh shit, hold on. The oil's pouring out before I can even get the thing out. I gotta get some more napkins or paper towels. I didn't even get the cap off and it's already pouring oil out. I just took it like one thread. I need to get something that's going to catch this oil. Modify this. Put it underneath. Can y'all see this? I'm gonna just pull the drain plug. Oh shit. I'm gonna put this back in. Hold on. I'm gonna have a massive mess here. Yeah, we're a little over full. way more than I thought. This might be why it has a really bad smell. Let's try and catch some more of this. Shit. There's no way I can catch all this oil. Actually, there is a way. Hold on. Wow. I just don't want to get it on the table because the tabletop is wood. Hold on. Excuse my walking in front of the camera. Tear off a couple paper towels. Morgan just left to go do some laundry. All right. Yeah. It's pouring out so fast that it's dripping over the drain that it has. Still at level, it's dripping out. Still pouring out. Let's see if that's it. All right, at this level, we're still, it's not pouring out now. I'm gonna cut that over just so I can get it off the plastic housing. As you see, it has a drip tray. All right, so how many ounces are these cups? 12 ounces, 16 ounces? Let's see what size is this cup. Usually they say on the bottom. These don't say anything. Alright. Now that we have that established, let's see what the oil level actually is. Because I can see in there. Can y'all hear me okay? It's an 8-ounce cup? Okay. All right. That is at the recommended oil level. Looks like there's a fuel drain right here. So this is not a badly designed unit. So we can drain fuel out. Oh, look at it. It's got a... That's interesting. So if it overfills, it automatically drains out. Interesting. So I was looking at the carburetor. The carburetor actually has an overfill for the bowl, so it drips and drains out, which is interesting. Then they give you an extra piece of hose. This little piece of hose here goes to a screw on the carburetor so that you can drain your fuel out of the bowl of the carburetor for probably storage. That way if you shut it off, if you're not going to use it for a while, you can drain your fuel bowl and keep it clean. Now, Morgan's planning on returning this. That's fine if she wants to return it. I'm going to put this back on the table. Because they say specifically at Harbor Freight, you have to remove all the fuel from it before you return it. So what I want to do is put you guys back on the table. And I'll move the oil out of the way. I think the next thing we need to do is drain the fuel out. But if I take this case off here, there's a mount screw, another screw, another screw. There's a few more up here, and we probably split this case. Let's see how this panel comes out. See if it uses all the same screws for everything. Those are longer. These are the side case screws. I'm gonna put those with the side case. What's the comment? Hey Pamela, Justin. Hello. Run, David. Yeah, I know, right? Run, David. Yeah, I know, right? We gotta get this fuel tank so we can drain this fuel out without having to run it through the carburetor. It has a full tank of fuel. Yeah, that's my ringtone. That's so my deaf ears can hear. I'm gonna wipe this lens real quick. Try and get rid of some of the haze. Is that better? That's holding that in. That's a DC, so this actually charges. That's pretty cool. I wonder if the Honda has that. And the Honda does have a DC charger. Here's an interesting fact. The Honda has a separate choke. So when you start it, the reason this was making so much smoke is because she was running it in the choked position, because it has a start, a run, and then an off. Now I understand why there were so many fumes with this unit, because it was being run in the start position until it choked itself out and then it died. The Honda has a completely separate choke system. Jenna, looks intimidating. Actually, it's very simple and it's actually very well thought out. If you need to drain your fuel, it has a fuel drain right here. So I'm going to get a container to drain the fuel into so that we can do that safely. And that being said, we'll get the fuel out of it so it can be returned, but I'm going to run it and I'm going to check it out. Now that it doesn't have a lot of oil in it, let's see what it does. Because I think, from my experience with my 3500, what's going on, you just buy, wait. Yeah, that's what my thought is. But what she needs an auto start generator that will automatically start when the battery system goes down on the inverter in the truck. That way, all she has to do is either push a button or use the remote control to start the generator. And the two 1,000 amp cranking, deep cycle batteries, the AGM batteries, at full load are given about an hour to 2 hours worth of run time, but it's taking them quite a while to charge back up. So it's become clear that we need a generator, but the difference is that we need to figure out what we can do for an auto start. Clearly, from here down, this is the cylinder head here. This is the highest point of the engine right here. This whole top piece up here is just a fuel tank. So and then this here is a blower to blow cool air for cooling it. So if we took this generator assembly out of the case, this handle that's hitting the top of her tail, or hitting her tailgate, and this filler neck could be used in a remote function. Chili cheese. Yeah, it can be modified to fit, but what she's wanting to do with the generator is do some welding, do some things when she's traveling to make, like metal art or something like that. She's a very good welder, guys. A very good welder. She's got some really, really good welding technique. But what this is going to allow her to do is be able to have the capability of charging her battery bank for sustaining where she needs to be. So I've got that back together now. I'm gonna put this on start. hear that? Actually, the Vulcan will work with the generator. Now, if I put this on the start position where she had it, all right, let me take it off of eco. Yeah, it chokes it down. Yeah, smell the oil. That's the oil smell. Yeah, propane modification wouldn't be bad at all. That'd be a great idea. We're getting propane filled out. Is that vibrating the phone? Making a lot of noise? Hold on. There's no smoke coming out of it now. Yeah, this is definitely quieter. There's no metal sound now at all. And I mean, look guys, I'm less than an arm's length away from it. This thing is stupid quiet. And look, it doesn't vibrate much. I mean, look, there's virtually no ripples on that water. I mean, on that oil. I'm telling you guys, this generator's a winner. You can parallel it. There's a kit where you can parallel the outlets. That means you take the max amperage out of both. Should we try hooking this up to the welder and see if we can weld with it? I think we should do that. What do y'all think? Hi, Teresa. No, she went, I think to do laundry and stuff. Yeah, let's try welding with it. Alright. So here's what I'm going to do. Yeah, one pull and it started right up. Let's see. y'all can see this is on. The wind's blowing. I have it on high and wants to blow over. Alright, I have to reconfigure the welder. Alright, I have it in eco mode. And the welder just powered up. Alright, so I'm gonna have to go through my settings. I'm gonna take it off of eco mode. see what we can do. It's not my prettiest weld, but that's what's plugged right in. That's what's plugged right in to the Predator. Now, I'm going to turn up the inductance a little bit more. Let's see. Let's put something thicker on it. Alright, so what I'm going to do this time is take this 1/8 inch and I'm going to turn it up, but I'm leaving the generator on eco mode. I'm at 18 volts inductance, 250 amps per minute. Let's see what it does. Eco mode and killed it. And it gives me an overload. Hold on. Alright. So I reset it. Alright. Now let's try it again. Eco mode, it didn't like that. Now again, we're 18 volts, 250 inches. Let's see what it does. Alright, so 17 is going to be our magic number. They're not the prettiest welds. But let's look at the heat signature on the bottom. Oh yeah. Look at the heat we put into that. That's a good weld, guys. Look at it all the way through. Yeah. That's a Predator 2000 running an Omni Pro. We're running a 25 wire. That was 250 at 16. And it does the job. That is badass. That is totally badass. Look, nobody at Harbor Freight has paid me to do this. I wanted to see it for myself. I kept thinking that the 3500 was going to be the way to go. Let me shut this off and make it quieter. Seriously, that has blown my mind. Oh, that shut off because I just shut that off. I know, right? That's a huge wow. That's really a huge wow. Yeah, we're running an argon CO2. Seriously, you just saw it shut off when I shut the generator off. It is plugged up to the Predator inverter, and that puppy just welded 1/8 inch plate. And the welds aren't pretty, but Morgan's a better welder than I am. I don't know, guys. Give me your thoughts on this. Can it run a home refrigerator? I'm sure it can. I got one right there. Should we go plug it in? Let's plug this thing in. Come on, let's have some fun with this. Let's unplug the welder. Sorry the shop's such a wreck. I don't know if the plug will actually reach. You know, it pulls more electricity. This air compressor. I guarantee if it'll run this air compressor, it'll run your refrigerator. So we'll go back to the run position. Oh, I didn't put it on start. Start it right up. We're gonna take it off of eco mode. It went to overload. Interesting. Oh, I flipped the switch. It's running now. It's running it. We can just go through the whole shop and plug shit in. Ah. Wait, watch this. Let's see what it does. It's running the compressor in eco mode. It just slowed down. And look, that's not even parallel. If you parallel the outlets, you get both. You get over 28 amps of total power. How badass is that? Alright, so I'm gonna unplug this. Watch. I'm gonna shut it off just to prove you I'm running the air compressor. Watch. I'm telling you, this is the most impressive. And look, now we got air pressure coming out of this. Y'all didn't hear that before. Yeah, it leaks because the generator at Harbor Freight is badass, but the fittings that you get suck. I'm telling you guys, this is one hell of a generator. No doubt. But you know what? Let's give it the big test. Hold on a second. Let's run that. So I'm gonna walk around and unplug this puppy. I know you're gonna have some wind noise, but bear with me. This is gonna be cool. No pun intended. Alright, let's plug this in here. Now, this plug for the fan has a busted ground lead, so I don't know. I'm going to turn it off, eco mode. Come back a little bit. That, y'all, is awesome. That's at full speed. All the way up. That's at full speed. Now, let's do what we did before. Let's switch it to eco and see what happens. The fan's still running. That's badass. Okay. Let's shut this off. And then it goes back down to idle. Let me turn it off. All right. I can smell gas. I just spilled some of it by moving it around. Hold on a second. I'm going to open this up and I'll show you exactly how it works. But first I'm going to turn that fan back on. Yeah, southern heat sucks, and right now we're in the middle of a heat spell because the winds are coming in from the west. So we're catching all that hot Atlanta heat. I got my zero sugar Gatorade. Not that I'm a proponent of Gatorade, but right now it's all I got that's really cold. All right. When you parallel the plug, that means you're putting both these together as one. All right. So if you have 13.3 max out of one, essentially that's going to give you 26.6 amps, probably around 25 amps. There's very little in this shop that will run or not run on 26 amps. I'm sure that there's a custom plug, but you can also do, this has a 12 volt. So if you buy the plug for this, you can charge batteries off of this. It's only an 8 amp load or max output. So it'd be a very slow, like if you had a 800, if you had an 800 milliamp battery or like a 1500 milliamp battery, okay, that's 15 amps. So it would take you more than an hour to charge a 1500 milliamp battery. Yeah, amps times volts equals watts, exactly. So this thing's 2000 watts, means it puts out 20 amps. But as you heard, it's 16 running watts, which you heard it would kick up and give me 16. So if you saw the welder would maintain at 16 volts, okay, welding. There is not a USB port on this, but there's also not a USB port on the Honda. USB ports are great for some things, but literally I'd rather have 8 amps here converting into a high functioning USB port driver, which would be very, very easy to do. Let's see if it goes into parallel in the instruction manual. It does not. It shows how to change the spark plug, how to drain the fuel. It literally doesn't show anything about. Oh, it says here, do not use the 12 volt DC output while using the other switch. So it's an either or. Got it. Um, I wonder why it doesn't show anything about. All right, so hold on a second. I'm gonna go grab my tablet and we're gonna look it up. Parallel for Predator. All right, so right now I've got my tablet and I'm gonna do a quick Google search. Oh, I gotta connect it to the internet first. All right, so we're connected to the internet. Predator. The name of the model of our boat is a. I love that 220. I have welded some crazy stuff with that welder. I've welded with Lincolns and ESABs and Millers for decades. And that welder, look, I was hard pressed to buy it. My brother's, oh, it's a piece of shit. You need to buy a real Miller like I've got. Of course, his welder costs like 12 grand because he's welding, you know, all sorts of titanium and high-end stainless for, you know, racing systems. Yodi, man, if you're just tuning in, you don't need a 5,000 watt welder generator. We just welded 1/8-inch steel with good penetration using 1600 running watts with the Predator Vulcan. Of course, I'm only running a 25 wire and I took it up to 16.5 volts. Predator 2000 inverter parallel kit. Harbor Freight. Oh, they sell it. 69 bucks. So, for less than the price of one Honda, yeah, that's true. We're gonna have one hell of a hurricane season this year. I know. I'm gonna be transporting boats like crazy. So this is how you parallel. The picture really sucks. Hold on. Open image in new tab. Here we go. Now I can bring it up and blow the image up. All right. So you understand, you have two generators, okay? There's a ground, a normal leg, and your power leg. This is just how household electricity works, okay? And you run two generators into a 30 amp outlet. With two generators running, you could run every bit of what that Vulcan is able to put out. Give this a thumbs up, guys, if y'all are saving money with this video, because I'm telling you right now, this generator is everything that people say it is, and I am truly impressed. So this is 69 bucks. So for the price of a Honda, you can buy this and two more and two Predator generators and do anything that you ever wanted to. That's pretty serious. I mean, no lie. I mean, you're welding with shit like that. That's crazy power. And this is what it is. You have these little ends right here. Okay. These two ends, the blue and the red, plug into this black and this black and this red outlet here. And then the green is your earth. That's your ground. And that means you can hook these two together. So let's say, you know, it's hurricane season wherever you live, or you have tornadoes or bad storms. You could literally run this system to run. Thoughts of running a generator on propane. It's great. Let's see. Let's do another search of that. Come on. I'm all about looking at more stuff. Let's go. Predator 2000 inverter. There you go. Propane Conversion Kit. There are videos on YouTube to do it. There it is. On eBay. That kit is $187. So like if you have a huge propane tank, you know, and you don't want to have to go get gasoline, you know, here's the cool thing. You could run one on gasoline, one on propane, or you could have a propane tank that runs both. You know? This guy's in West Virginia. There's quite a few actually, dual fuel carburetor systems. A motors, revolutionary motor, Snorgo's simplest kit on earth. Switch back and forth. No cutting of the frame, no cutting of the crankcase hose. No biggie. He also has them for the Hondas. This is on eBay, and the seller's name is US Carburation. I'm going to save this seller, hitting that button right there. So I think that really answers it, y'all. You know, that kind of just blew me away today. And it's a huge money savings. Now we just need is the exhaust kit. Do the parallel. Hold on. Let's look up the exhaust kit for it. Lots of videos on that. Exhaust extension. There's 62 different ones sold on eBay. Like lots of tailgating campsites require that you have an exhaust extension. Most of them are very simple. They use a high temperature silicone hose, kind of like this. No, Amazon, I don't need to see that. Yeah, most of them are very simple like this. It's a very high temp silicone hose. We use these on turbochargers and stuff like that. This is just a 1.5 foot extension. But like if you're using them for a campground site, that slips into the pipe just like that, and then you run the hose to it. And what we do, like at campgrounds, you extend it out of the exhaust and you go up through a stovepipe type that is literally just a piece of PVC, because by the time it gets to that, you're just venting the fumes up, and PVC pipe will handle that without any issues whatsoever. Some people use metallic pipe. I mean, either way you go, it's very simple. There's another way to do it. Very, very simple. Yeah. Very simple. Lots of kits out there, guys. They've got an answer for everything. Any other questions? I'm pretty fired up about this. Any other questions? Well, Jenna, what are you trying to operate? I mean, what are you trying to run? The whole house or just parts of it? You would only need 2 if you were running like a massive amount of electrical stuff. Here's where you could use this. Where you would parallel. In my father's house in Sugar Land, Texas. You know, after the flood that they had a couple years ago, Hurricane Harvey. We went to his fuse box. And after tripping the main breaker, ran the generator off of the natural gas that comes into the house. And because natural gas never ever goes away. You don't have to worry about batteries and all that other crap. You just have electricity. So what we did is we added a gas tap that was literally hooked up to the back of we have a 3-car separated garage from the house, and there's a breezeway that goes between the two, but the panel for the entire house is in the garage. So on the back patio there's an extra gas line, a gas main that comes out for like a built-in, you know, outdoor kitchen. So we had a guy come out and tap that line to add an extension to it. We ran that extension to a pad that was poured for a generator, and we ran the Generac generator into the household. Now, if you didn't want to get that specific with it and that crazy with it, here's another way to do it. You get one of the big heavy gauge, you know, like a 10-3 heavy, real thick, heavy duty extension cord. They actually sell those at Harbor Freight, and they're great extension cords. This is what I used in building Morgan's system. And you backfeed the panel using either a dryer plug or one of the heavy duty, you know, outlets inside the house. Or if you know what zones you're going to use, let's say you're going to use the kitchen, the living room, 1 or 2 bedrooms or something like that, you can make your own extension cord running from this plug into 2 male plugs. Now, here's the danger of this. And look, I'm not an electrician. I'm gonna tell you right now. But what you could do is then you run a male plug into a wall socket, but you have to make sure that you turn off the main breaker, because you don't want to backfeed the grid if you have an electric serviceman come out and they're servicing the lines, and all of a sudden you're backfeeding the grid. That's very dangerous. Yeah, it's a suicide cord. Exactly. It's probably 90 degrees already right now. Let's see what it says. We are in Florence. Yeah, so essentially you're making a suicide cord. And it says it is 91 degrees in Florence right now. There's rain way over here, but we have no wind. We have virtually no wind. And our wind is coming from the west. Yeah, it's still wind. That's why it's so freaking hot. We typically have a wonderful Gulf, a wonderful Atlantic breeze, but we just don't have that today. But yeah, it's yeah, it's hot in upstate, and I was supposed to be up there moving the yacht, but thank God, I didn't make that trip, and I decided to get work done. But anyway, I have to tell everybody, this is the most amazing generator so far that I've seen. It blows my mind. It really does. Any other questions before I kill this? Yeah, definitely. If you don't know what you're doing, hire a professional. Don't, like I said, I'm not an electrician. So don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. And there's no better way of calling it. That's it is a suicide cord. Fridge and a light. Yeah, you could run your refrigerator and your lights. If you need something, get the 3500. The 3500 will work phenomenally well. I have that model, and it'll run everything. We've only used it 3 times, and each time it was for running a shop or running a house. And it's definitely a phenomenal. I mean, it really is. It's a phenomenal generator. The other one's actually quieter than this as an electric start. Pass for pets. What's the watt it takes? What, the welder? This is a 1600 watts, so the Vulcan shut down at 17. I'm going back and reading the comments. Is Morgan live now? Did she go live? Gerald, that was funny. All right, I'm trying to go through all the... Oh, no shit. Well, let's check it out. Let's see what she's doing. Hold on, let me go to YouTube.
There you go. You gotta get out of here. This is kind of a cooler area. What's the alternative? I don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out right now. What is the alternative, you guys? We gotta figure that out.
Somebody tell her I just welded with the small generator.
Because I can't just be staying in hotel rooms all the time. What kind of life is that? And that's a lot of money. And, the cheapest one is $100 a night. We gotta save money right now. We're saving money.
Yeah, because I can't comment on her chat. I can't comment on her chat because I'm blocked.
I don't even care if it's dry. We gotta get out of here. Hold on, cuties. We're almost done. I'm almost done putting you through this torture. It's torture. We gotta get this laundry. We gotta go. We're done. Tapping out. Tapping out. We're going back to the drawing board.
Yeah, Justin, if you're on there, I'm gonna put testing. Okay, I just made a comment at 12:59 underneath B&J Jessica Lynn. Yeah, you're right, Yodi.
Okay. Almost. We're getting out of here. I'm sorry. I know I'm crazy. You're a crazy mother.
Yeah.
My hood not down? No way. Fuck. Okay, watch out. It's not like starting a vehicle makes it any cooler in here. But driving helps. Need some wind in your face. I don't have AC
She has AC, it's just not hooked
I
up.
know that does help Nikki in her Prius. She has AC. And she can run it. She can like idle her car all the time. That's what I need. I need a diesel. But like I said, I don't know. Even when I was looking at excursions and stuff, you know, used ones, because I said I don't aspire to just be living in a car forever. So I would like to save my money so that I can buy some land at some point in time, or do whatever I decide to do when I get there. But
Infinity and
man,
beyond.
guys, they were expensive. You're looking at like $50K.
I know, right? Back to my project.
I don't finance anything. I give her everything in cash. I don't like debt. I'm really bad at paying bills. I never pay them.
We have 42. She's got 1,100. I'm doing something wrong. I need to get some tips.
I didn't make a payment.
I need to get a female, assistant here.
I hate bills.
Get a diesel flatbed.
Buy full in cash.
All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up.
Well, you guys, this was a good live stream. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks for letting me
I'll holler
know.
at you later.
Oh, let's see what we're at. Where we're at. Hold on. Hold on. This slab is to test our supply.
Oh, I know exactly where she's at. All right, y'all have a great day. Bless you all for visiting, and God bless America.
Okay, let's
Bye.
see what capacity my batteries are at.